Hello students, welcome to your channel Matchless Mentor. This is the third part of the explanation Deep Water. I have already uploaded the first and the second part and the summary. I hope you will watch those videos and you will like those videos because it will help you a lot for your CBSE to understand the lesson in a very minute way, and you will be able to remember the chapter in a very nice way. So here we are about to do class 12 Flamingo, poem 3 Deep Water by William Douglas, and in this video you will get model reading of the lesson, line by line explanation with illustrative pictures and word meanings by your English teacher, that is Soma ma'am. Okay, now let's begin. Now in our previous video, that was in part 2, we have already read that William was in the swimming pool and he was struggling for his life. He was struggling to come out of water, and now at the end he just went to oblivion and he became unconscious as he drifted away towards death. So we did up to that, and see in this part you can see somebody is pulling William out of water. So here we begin the text. The next I remember, I was lying on my stomach beside the pool, vomiting. The chap that threw me in was saying, "But I was only fooling." Someone said, "The kid nearly died. Be all right now. Let's carry him to the locker room." Now here is the explanation. When William gained consciousness, he was lying on his stomach beside the pool and was vomiting. He heard someone scolding the boy who had pushed him into the pool. The voice said that William had almost died, and the boy replied that he was fooling with him. The voice asked the boy to carry William to the locker room. Now this is the next part. Several hours later, I walked home. I was weak and trembling. I shook and cried when I lay on my bed. I couldn't eat that night. For days, a haunting fear was in my heart. The slightest exertion upset me, making me wobbly in the knees and sick to my stomach. I never went back to the pool. I feared water. I avoided it whenever I could. Now see the word meaning, wobbly. You need to know the meaning of this word. Wobbly means weak. And here is the explanation. After many hours, William walked home. He felt weak and shivered. He kept on crying as he lay on the bed. He was unable to eat food. The fear kept on haunting him for many days. The incident made him physically upset. The slightest work made him feel that his knees were unable to bear his weight. He could feel like vomiting. William did not go to the swimming pool as he feared the water. He remained away from water. Now next paragraph. A few years later, when I came to know the waters of the Cascades, I wanted to get into them. And whenever I did, whether I was wading a Titan or bumping river or bathing in warm lake of the Goat Rocks, the terror that had seized me in the pool would come back. It would take possession of me completely. My legs would become paralyzed. Icy horror would grab my heart. Here is only one word you need to know, that is cascades. And here is the explanation. After some years, William came to know of a waterfall and wanted to go in it. Whenever he went for swimming in different rivers like Titan, bumping river, warm lake of Goat Rocks, the fear of water returned. It would grab him completely, disable his limbs and grab his heart. So he is undergoing the sort of this phobia, aquaphobia, and these are the effects. This handicap stayed with me as the years rolled by. In canoes in Maine lakes, fishing for landlocked salmon, bass fishing in New Hampshire, trout fishing on the Deschutes and Metolius in Oregon, fishing for salmon on the Columbia, at Bumping Lake in the Cascades. Wherever I went, the haunting fear of the water followed me. It ruined my fishing trips, deprived me of the joy of canoeing, boating, and swimming. Now these are the word meanings: handicap, canoes, ruined, deprived. Now see the explanation. The fear of water remained with William as he grew up on the boating trips to different lakes in the Maine region: New Hampshire, Deschutes, Metolius, Columbia, Bumping Lake, where he had fished different varieties of fish, namely salmon, bass, and trout. The fear followed him. His fishing trips were destroyed as he did not enjoy boating and swimming due to the fear. This part also you get question that what were the after effects and what was the problem when he got the this phobia. I used every way I knew to overcome this fear, but it held me firmly in its grip. Finally, one October, I decided to get an instructor and learn to swim. I went to a pool and practiced 5 days a week, an hour each day. The instructor put a belt around me. A rope attached to the belt went through a pulley that ran on an overhead cable. He held on to the end of the rope and he went back and forth across the pool, hour after hour, day after day, week after week. On each trip across the pool, a bit of the panic seized me. Each time the instructor relaxed his hold on the rope and went under, some of the old terror returned and my legs froze. It was 3 months before the tension began to slack. Then he taught me to put my face under water and exhale, and to raise my nose and inhale. I repeated the exercise hundreds of times, beat by beat. I shed part of the panic that seized me when my head went under water. Now these are the word meanings I have given: cable, slack, shade, panic, seized, and see, I have put a picture also just to show this girl. She is also just preponding near the seashore, or this is a big lake it seems, and she is just waiting to go into the water like William. Here is the explanation. William tried to ward for the fear but was unable to get rid of it. Finally, in the month of October, he hired an instructor to teach his swimming. He would practice for an hour each day, 5 days a week. William describes the learning process. The instructor put a belt around William's waist. The belt was attached to a thick rope. The rope went through an overhead pulley and was held by the instructor. It ensured that in case William drowned, the instructor would pull him out. William swam across the length of the pool for several weeks. Whenever the instructor loosened the rope, he went down into the water and the fear would return. It would immobilize his legs. It was after 3 months of practice that William got comfortable. Then the instructor taught him to breathe in the water. He taught him to put his face under the water and exhale in his breath. He was taught to raise his nose out of the water and inhale. William practiced several times. Gradually, he got rid of the panic that would grab him when he put his head under the water. I think, students, this is the process how to teach swimming. If you all have learned swimming, I must say that you must have gone through this process also, that to exhale is breathe inside under the water, you put your face and you inhale, and then you exhale. When you put your nose out, that time you exhale. This process is compulsory for all the swimmers, I think. Next, he held me at the side of the pool and had me kick with my legs. For weeks I did just that. At first my legs could refuse to work, but they gradually relaxed and finally I could command them. Now meaning command is given and the explanation is here. In the third phase of the learning process, the instructor taught William to kick the water's surface and his legs. He did this for many weeks. Initially his legs did not move, but gradually they relaxed, and finally William could order them to kick in the desired way. This is the next part. Thus, piece by piece he built a swimmer, and when he had perfected each piece, he put them together into an integrated whole. In April he said, "Now you can swim. Dive off and swim the length of the pool. Crawl stroke." I did. The instructor was finished. Meaning of stroke is given. Now explanation. Finally, the instructor made a swimmer out of William in phases. When William had perfected each phase, he compiled them. In the month of April, the instructor told William that now he could swim. He asked him to dive into the pool and swimming the length of the pool in a particular style called the crawl stroke. William swam and the classes came to an end. So this was the formal ending of the swimming classes. Now let's see what William is doing just to come out of the fear. How he is training his mental ability now. But I was not finished. I still wondered if I would be terror stricken when I was alone in the pool. I tried it. I swam the length up and down. Tiny vestiges of the old terror would return. But now I could frown and say to the terror, "Trying to scare me? Well, here's to you. Look," and off I would go for another length of the pool. Now vestiges, meaning I have given. You should write down these meanings in your copy to increase your vocabulary. Here is the explanation. See, I have given a picture of a swimming pool. Okay, people are swimming with the help of rope. William had not overcome the fear yet and wondered if the terror would grab him when he would be alone in the water. He tried to swim alone in the pool. The terror returned in small phases, but now, as he knew how to swim, he faced the terror with confidence. He swam another length of the pool. See the next paragraph. This went on until July, but I was still not satisfied. I was not sure that all the terror had left, so I went to Lake Wentworth in New Hampshire, dived off a dock at Triggs Island, and swam 2 miles across the lake to Stamp Act Island. I swam the crawl, breaststroke, side stroke, and backstroke. Only once did the terror return, when I was in the middle of the lake. I put my face under and saw nothing but bottomless water. The old sensation returned in miniature. I laughed and said, "Well, Mr. Terror, what do you think you can do to me?" It fled, and I swam on. Meaning of miniature is given, and here is the explanation. This part was quite simple. William swam like this till the month of the July, but was not satisfied. He wanted to be sure that all of the fear had left him. So he went to Lake Wentworth to New Hampshire, dived into it from Triggs Island, and swam for 2 miles up to Stamp Act Island. He swam in different styles: crawl, breaststroke, side stroke, and backstroke. The terror returned only once, when he was in the middle of the lake. When he put his head under water, he saw water all around, and the fear returned. This time William laughed at the terror and said to it that it could not harm him. He saw that the terror vanished, and he resumed swimming. This is the next paragraph. Yet I had residual doubts. At my first opportunity, I hurried west, went up to the Teton to Conrad Meadows, up to the Conrad Creek Trail to Mead Glacier, and camped in the high meadow by the side of Worm Lake. The next morning, I stripped, dived into the lake, and swam across to the other shore and back, just as Doug Corcoran used to do. I shouted with joy, and Gilbert Peak returned the echo. I had conquered my fear of water. So this is the explanation. William still had some doubt about the fear, so he hurried towards the western direction. He went up the Teton, reached Conrad Meadows, walked up to the Conrad Creek Trail to Mead Glacier. He camped at the meadow by the warm lake. The next morning he wore the swimming costume and dived into the lake. He swam across it to the other end and returned just like the famous American Doe Corporation used to do. William shouted with joy as he had overcome his fear. His voice resounded as the mountain peak named Gilbert Peak reverberated it. He had overcome the fear. Now this is the last part. The experience had a deep meaning for me, as only those who have known stark terror and conquered it can appreciate. In death there is peace. There is terror only in the fear of death, as Roosevelt knew when he said, "All we have to fear is fear itself." Because I had experienced both the sensation of dying and the terror that fear of it can produce, the will to live somehow grew in intensity. Okay, so this is the last paragraph, and this paragraph is very important. You get a lot of questions from this paragraph, so understand the lines and each and every expression, phrases very nicely, so that you should remember. At last I felt released. This is the phrase which you need to know the meaning in this paragraph, and this is the explanation. The experience had a great importance in William's life. He realized that death was peaceful and only the fear of death was fearful. He recollects the words of one of the presidents of America, Roosevelt. Roosevelt had said that all we have to fear is fear itself. As William had experienced death, the fear of death, his desire to live grew up immensely. He felt released from fear and was free to walk up to the trails and climb up the mountains fearlessly. So, what we have learned from this chapter is डर के आगे जीत है. हम लोग डरते रहेंगे तो आगे नहीं बढ़ पाएंगे. So we must come out of our fear, and we need to face the fear in a very tactful manner. So here it's a very motivational story. If some of you are suffering from this type of phobia or fear, you must consult your parents, your teachers, or some expert for your fear, and you must get rid of that fear, and you should come out of that fear. Okay, thanks for watching, and please do keep reading the text and watch the other videos also, and meet you in my next video. Till then, bye. Keep studying well.